is a visit to the Royal Navy at Portsmouth. It's the field gun cruise tournament annually and takes the form of a competition between various commands of the Royal Navy. It's a display which Seven Kings decided to do, and they set about and actually built all the equipment to do the job. And this for area is the same size as what happens at the Royal Tournament, but the equipment is much lighter. The spars are lighter because of boy weight. The boys couldn't handle the heavy ones, and they don't need the strength because our equipment is lighter. The gun is a dummy gun made in aluminium. Thought perhaps just to see some of the Navy people doing bits of this to give the picture of what happens when the boys do it. Now this is a short film of the Seven Kings Sea Scouts doing their display at Gilwell Park, Chingford. Gilwell Park was a scout campsite and training area, and this was a weekend which was the weekend of the Gilwell reunion, and we were asked to do our display there. This is setting up the equipment. This equipment was all made by ourselves. We've got the walls and the ramps, the rigging, the gear, the spars, the sheer legs, and this block and tackle for taking the strain on the wire. They're now entering the arena and coming to the area of this mast where they're going to hoist colours. Now they're going off to take off their caps and scarves because they don't do a display with caps and scarves on. Now to the beginning of it. The team consists of 18 boys, 6 on a gun, 6 on a limber and 6 riggers, with a senior patrol leader as the organiser. There are no grown-ups on this display or on the field at the time of the display. The riggers have appeared now at the ramp and are preparing this, and they've put up the sheer legs and the wire's been put across, and this is them at the block and tackle taking the strain on the wire. It's a very precise display. It's almost a science. If you watch the Navy doing it, it's absolutely a science, a drill of the highest quality. We have tried to do this ourselves, and we certainly have got the movements right, but with an awful lot of practice to get the whole speed of a thing. The limber and gun is all taken apart to take it across. We wanted to look reasonably like the real thing. Look at the audience they have. Their first display, and look at the audience, hundreds of them. This is the return run. That's the gun carriage over with its wheel. The gun carriage has now been coming down, in between the wheels, lifted, the wheels put on, and the barrel dropped into the clips and anchored. The limber. Now you notice the sheer legs drop. That's quite meant. That's a special release clip that happens at the other end of the wire, which you theoretically, if they were fighting, they've got to bring the wire across that ramp or the enemy would be after them. So they bring the wire over and drop down the sheer legs. This is them running back to the start line. Now we're back at the mast, and this is the lowering of the colours. Now, the present Baden-Powell is going to come up and speak to them. He was at the camp. That's the grandson of Baden-Powell. And he felt he enjoyed it so much he wanted to come and speak to the boys. That ends that part of the film. This is now the Thames Television Magpie programme, which was a children's programme in television. And that's Mike Robertson and Larry Jerkin. He's the coordinator of the Magpie programme. And he is at the moment going to speak to the boys and give them a great deal of enthusiasm and encouragement. Talks to all the boys individually, says something to them. The boy in the peak cap is the senior patrol leader, Chris Paulding. He looks after the whole of the team during the periods in action. As I said before, the grown-ups do not take part in this at all. It's a boy's job. That's the limber. The limber normally carries ammunition, but we use it to carry equipment. Not for going over the wire. It's empty when it goes over the wire. But when we collect from the field all these bits of ropes and other things, it gets dumped in a limber. Easy way to carry it and quickly organised. The gun, it's all arranged in clips. It's spring clips, fixing clips, and all done for speed. Actually, the speed of the boys doing a display is just under 5 minutes. The Royal Tournament speed by the Navy team is 3 minutes, and it's now under 3 minutes. This is Chris Paulding. Mike Robertson asked him to do some screaming at the kids, and this is him doing some screaming. Mike Custon and Mike Rhodes, they are other organisers of the Magpie programme. Film director and the director. Now, this isn't exactly a complete run. It's all done in pieces, and you see much of it happening a second and third time. The camera crews wanted this done so that they could then film the best efforts, and then when they come to edit the film, they could put on the best pieces. It was a film. It wasn't video cameras they had then. It was cameras. Quite a good day this, because when the television people came, they brought a mobile dining room and a mobile canteen, and they fed the boys with breakfast and dinner. You know, actually this went on for a whole day. It went on from 9:30 in the morning till almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that was for eventually 11 minutes of showing on the screen. The producer of the Royal Tournament, and he chose them to appear in the Royal Tournament one year. It was actually the same year as Magpie. They ran with Devonport, but not to race, but it was merely a demonstration. The Navy team were quite impressed with them, and they actually told me later on that they considered, from what they were doing and the way they were doing it, they saw no reason why they shouldn't have their time down to nearly 3 minutes. I'm sure if we carried on, that would have happened that way. This is a marvellous thing. The kids get tore into this. They really felt they were doing something. They were really taking part. This is again, it's all reruns. This is typically a maintenance session after a display, before another display. We always check the gear, see what's happened to it and clean it, to repair anything if it needs repairing, or tighten screws or bolts. This is the Ilford North Scout Fete, and the reason that this is in is we had acquired a 28-foot spar which was given to us from HMS Daedalus by the Royal Navy for us to use. The spar itself had a lot of work to do on it because it was 6 inches in diameter, and I had to plane it down to less than 4 inches. And this is one of the first earlier times when they did the swing. I've not got much film on the swing. It's such a magnificent thing, and all done by kids. See how the rope comes out of the spar? It's a special clip in that. Everything's special clips, special things. We're all dreamed up from the work that was done by the Navy, and we could learn from them.